All right, good night, and welcome to another episode of Water for the Thirsty. The word simply, the word refresher, and Shrika. I was watching that intro, and it's like, man, I miss sitting on the couch. I miss, the live in-person conversations. We need to
Yeah,
get back
we
to
had to
the
pull it off in Q1.
couch. Yeah, next year. But yeah, we here again. Another third Friday, but we here every first and third Friday. Chopping it up on our readings from the Water for the Thirsty Bible reading plan. Since the last time we got together, we started to head near to the end of our cycle. We've been in the book of John. We came out of the writings of Jeremiah and are now in the period of Ezra and Zechariah, Haggai, all of them good people. I think Haggai was the day before yesterday. So we in Zechariah too. So that period of Israel's history and the book of Psalms. So we covering that, and that's kind of where our conversation will be coming from. Although we may go back a little bit to Jeremiah and John. Well, I said John because we're in John. All right. Today I had a handful of things. One from last time. Um, it was from John chapter 4. I don't think we got this last week, and I wanted to propose it. Um, John chapter 4, verse 12.
Okay.
John chapter 4, verse 12. I saw this in my. I'm still enjoying this NIRV Bible because it causes me to look at these things I thought I knew before in a whole fresh light. When you read it in a real basic children language.
hmm
So go ahead and read that.
You want to read from verse 1?
We could, yeah, let's go ahead and do one to 26, but my emphasis is verse 12. But yeah, we could do 1 to 26. We read the whole thing.
All right. Now, Jesus learned that the Pharisees had heard about him. They had heard that he was gaining and baptizing more disciples than John. But in fact, Jesus was not baptizing, his disciples were. So Jesus left Judea, went back again to Galilee. Jesus had to go through Samaria. He came to a town in Samaria called Sychar. It was near this piece of land Jacob had given his son Joseph. Jacob's well was there. Jesus was tired from the journey, so he sat down by the well. It was about noon. A woman from Samaria came to get some water. Jesus said to her, "Will you give me a drink?" His disciples had gone into town to go buy food. The Samaritan woman said to him, "You are a Jew, I'm a Samaritan woman. How can you ask me for a drink?" She said this because Jews don't have anything to do with Samaritans. Jesus answered her, "You do not know what God's gift is, and you do not know who is asking you for a drink. If you did, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." "Sir," the woman said, "you don't have anything to get water with. This well is deep. Where can you get this living water? Our father Jacob gave us this well. He drank from it himself. So did his sons and his livestock. Are you more important than he is?" Jesus answered, "Everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again, but anyone who drinks the water I give them will never be thirsty. In fact, the water I give them will become a spring of water in them, and it will flow up into eternal life." The woman said to him, "Sir, give me this water. Then I will never be thirsty, and I won't have to keep coming here to get water." He told her, "Go, get your husband, and come back." "I have no husband," she replied. Jesus said to her, "You're right when you say you have no husband. In fact, you have had 5 husbands, and the man you live with is right now that you're living with is not your husband. What you have said is very true." "Sir," the woman said, "I can see that you are a prophet. Our people have always worshipped on this mountain, but you Jews claim that the place where we must worship is in Jerusalem." Jesus said, "Woman, believe me, a time is coming when you will not worship the Father on this mountain or in Jerusalem. You Samaritans worship what you do not know. We worship what we do know. Salvation comes from the Jews. But a new time is coming. In fact, it is already here. True worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. They are the kind of worshipers the Father is looking for. God is spirit. His worshipers must worship him in spirit and in truth. The woman said, I know that Messiah is coming. Messiah means Christ. When he comes, he will explain everything to us. Then Jesus said, the one you're talking about is the one speaking to you. I am he.
Yeah, man. So there's a whole lot in here, and I ain't necessarily well, what stood out to me isn't really a big theological thing. It was more of a cultural revelation that I see to still be pervasive today. I'm gonna read to you what I wrote when I wrote that down.
Mhm.
It said Jews had nothing to do with Samaritans, because my emphasis is verse 12, right?
Yeah.
And it says, our father Jacob gave us this well. He drank from it himself. So did his sons and his livestock. Are you more important than he is? Now, this is the woman talking to Jesus, right?
Mhm.
Referring to Jacob as our father, right?
Right.
The Jews had nothing to do with Samaritans. What I have written down. The Jews had nothing to do with Samaritans, yet the Samaritans considered Jacob to be their father. The way humans otherize others instead of embracing others on similarities is amazing. And they were expecting the Messiah.
Mhm.
This,
Mhm.
this says he referred to her as you Samaritans, she referred to him as you Jews, but they all say Jacob is our father.
Right. Right.
Why are we so? I
Mm.
mean, why are we so? I just, why do we otherize people like that?
Mm.
There's something we could do to kind of flag them. I understand that there's diversity and everybody is not the same, and we should embrace and celebrate our uniqueness. But when to me, this when we start to take our uniqueness and make it in a way that somehow makes me in a place where I don't have to deal with you.
Right.
And we have so much in common. Like Jacob is our father, mine and yours.
Yeah.
Or at least I regard him as my father, our father.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just that I don't know. Maybe I'm sensitive to that in the phase of life that I'm in, and so it's stuck out. But yeah.
Mm. No, that's interesting. I mean, there definitely existed this uh, kind of hatred between them.
Why?
Um,
That is, they have core fundamental beliefs. Not all the beliefs were the same, clearly, but
right.
core fundamental beliefs. They're
And it
looking for
seems
the
it's like
Messiah.
it's towards the Samaritans. Like maybe they don't seem like they have that hostility back to the Jews. It's more like, all right, you guys don't have any dealings with us at all. Like,
Yeah, we start to make ourselves better than other people
mhm, mhm.
when they're all looking for the same thing.
Yeah,
And hear what Jesus say: "You Samaritans worship what you don't know. We worship what we do know." So how about you teach them
that's true.
rather than hold it against them? How about you just you teach them and show them a better way?
Hmm.
They're looking for the Messiah too.
Yeah, they are. They're saying that they worshiping God in this mountain. It's like, all right, it's not. We're not worshiping in the same place, but we're worshiping the same Creator. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like the same.
And we hold Jacob in a similar regard to you. Just we tend to focus on the things that separate us, that are different rather than the things that unite us, and
Yeah,
we are not better for it.
I hear that.
Mm.
I hear that.
You know why I might also be sensitive that I ain't gonna lie to you, Courtney. Being from my experience, my life experience, Um, when I was small, they taught us in school. Hear every creed, the national anthem. Hear every creed and race, find an equal space, and may God bless our nation. I think the other watchwords were together we aspire, together we achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And there is so much diversity in peoples of Trinidad and Tobago, and of course, everywhere that you have differences between people, people have issues with one another. But they were intentional in socializing us into the oneness, into the trininess of everybody. And they have this and they have that, and we are all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I struggle coming into spaces where you are this and you are that. And if you're this, you can't be that. Because the space I was socialized into, yes, we have this, and yes, we have that, but we are all. And when you celebrating that, I going over there and celebrate with you, and I'm not subscribing to that, and I'm not trying to convert you or change. And then when you come by me, you respectfully do what I do, and it's just it was normal to embrace that kind of diversity and celebrate it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I struggled mightily in this space, where if you're wearing a different color, we can't deal with you.
Yeah. 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 That's true. That's true.
No, I ain't saying it was perfect, and I ain't saying we didn't have you know bias and prejudice and them kind of things. I ain't saying that at all. I'm just saying that we were socialized to celebrate the diversity
Okay.
and embrace all of it as us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they was teaching you that in school. It is a part of the language, like from the time you're born. We doing Diwali and Eid Mubarak. We doing all of that, and then we go in and celebrate Easter too. Just everything. And so unity and diversity is normative for me. So every time I see this kind of polarization in the scripture, I struggle mightily with it. So I guess that's why it stood out. What's
Mm-hmm.
up, Kendrick?
What's up, guys? How are you?
Cool, cool.
Chilling.
I was just sharing some ruminations on John 4:12, where um the Samaritan lady says, "Our father Jacob gave us this well," and I was trying to figure out, well, not figure out, because it really wasn't it was just more of a musing of how we humans otherize others so easily. When
You
we
said otherwise?
Yes,
Yeah.
you're different, you're other. When
Yep.
there's so many things that unify us and come on, make us common, like
Yeah.
and rather than celebrating diversity or having unity in diversity, we just we let the diversity delineate and make one better than the other or different than the other. Like the Jews was like, we don't deal with them because they worshiping on the mountain. As opposed to, as you said, teach them what the right thing is, show them a better way, show them a different way. And so
Yeah.
just same in the same story, Courtney, the disciples were surprised that Jesus stopped to talk to the woman, right? Because she's a Samaritan. It's like,
She's a woman and a Samaritan.
well, see how we drawing these lines again? There's just lines everywhere.
And then how many husbands she got? So her reputation is questionable. So that's like 3 strikes, I think.
So yeah, it's just, but she's still calling Jacob father. That's the part.
Yeah.
So we have the same father. Why are we fighting? Okay, maybe we had different mothers, but we had the same father. We brothers.
Yeah.
What is it
Yeah, but
about
there's
humans that
there's
cause
there's
us to do that?
there's yeah, but what's the value?
What's the value of what?
Like my values and kind of who I am, who we are.
But perception of my value,
Was that?
the perception of my value, because your intrinsic value is being made in the image of God,
Well, sure, but
just like everybody else.
yeah, but nobody looks at it from that perspective, right?
Yeah, the
It's the
question is why?
value of, yeah.
Why not?
Was that?
Why not?
I mean, there's a lot of why nots. There's a lot of why nots. So I 100% agree with you, but I'm just saying I see why we,
Mhm.
right? Um, I mean, you can go down the list, right? Black American, like it's everybody, like we all.
Black American, but then New York American and Southern American, like
What's that again?
Southern black versus New York black versus California black.
But when if you not to get into the whole history and all that, but all of them sourced from the same place, right? So all of that, and so there's always serious. You're always, I guess what I'm saying is like you're always seeking value, right? Um, and I think it depends on. I think it has to do a lot about where you come from and what your experience has been or what your kinship experience has been.
Yeah, I
And
100% agree.
before you even get back to Christ,
Yeah,
right?
100% agree. Because that's what I was saying to Courtney. Like in Trinidad, I was socialized to, together we aspire, together we achieve. Every creed and race have an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Like it was socialized into us.
Mm-hmm.
All of this is us.
Mm-hmm.
We are this and that and this and that and that, all of us together. And so
Mm-hmm.
even when we don't like to be called Jamaicans, right? And we want to be distinguished from
Which
Jamaica.
which none of us do. None of us want to be called Jamaican. 100%.
Hey, I take that.
Which part of Jamaica that is? I mean, what do you mean? But we still have that oneness bleeds out even into that, right? Because now we from
Correct.
here and we take, just so like this is an easy thing for me. And I struggle with why it's so difficult for others. And I guess it's because, as you said, it's our experience and how we've been socialized. Some people are socialized into those divisions.
No, I think it's a big. I think it's a bigger deal than what I grew up in a space where I think it was a lot easier for me.
Also,
And then as I've grown up and matured, in theory, based upon my wife and kids, it's become more difficult to see it that way. But I struggle with it because I know that there is like Christ is calling all of us to see it that way. But it's difficult. I'm a Umar fan.
I see it. Oh, somebody
And
else.
so however, that I know here that it contradicts everything. Absolutely everything minus no thing that Christ has taught us. Right? And so I think that's one of the difficult things. But yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna go there. I'm glad you
I
said
love
it as
I
part
love
of your
I
phrase.
love Umar. I love Christ more. I love Umar.
Yeah, I was gonna go there a little bit, Carrick. I was gonna lean into that just a little bit because it's that Christians struggle with it as mightily as we do, given that the core of the gospel is not that.
It's not that.
Is wild. Like, our faith thing in this part of the world have divisions just in the way the organization is structured.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild to me. And then just
It
in America,
is.
that whole, just America has that own challenge, but it's wild to me that somehow
From
it
a
don't connect,
headspace.
or we are able to operate with a dissonance that.
Yeah. No. I'm with you. From a headspace, I'm 100% with you. From a headspace, I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, we know what it is. But and and I was having this conversation with Jewel. I won't say Jew, with Jewel. Um,
Just to make sure. Just to make sure.
All right, cancel.
I was having this conversation with Jewel, um, because it was like, man, like we know better, and not only like we know better, we literally can see. I mean, me coming in, the conversation with the Samaritan lady, like we can see it.
Hmm.
It was exemplified in multiple ways, not just in that conversation, right?
Hmm.
Yet it's hard for us, to get out of that space, right? For many different reasons.
Yeah,
Um, but the reality is that you have to come out that space.
agreed. I wonder what we could do to help, particularly because you would think that you become a believer and your faith nudges you in that direction just by believing and becoming a part of that, but it doesn't seem to work. I know, at least for me, it's a little bit easier because of my other socialization, my non-Jesus socialization. So it's easy to cross apply for me. I don't struggle with it as mightily.
What do you think it's because you're non-Jesus, or you think it's
My
because
non-Jesus socialization. So it's not a
that's what I'm
it's
saying?
not
You're
a
non-Jesus, or your socialization based upon where you're from.
yes, my non-Jesus socialization based on where I'm from. That
Okay, all right.
yeah, yeah, because that socialization into that acceptance, into that unity, that acceptance of diversity is not a spiritual one. It's the culture of the place. So it's an easy transition or application to now put that into Jesus terms. The easier transition.
Yeah, so I think where we come from in the States, um, at least half of me comes from in the States, which my father, who was not born in the States, West Indian, experienced. Um, and you listen to him now, he's probably just as hard as my mom is. Um, you realize, like, because of the way that God and Christ was entrenched in all of that, I think that's why I think it all gets complicated,
Mm.
right?
Because it was
Because
baked in.
was that
It was I hear what you're saying, it was baked in.
correct? Like,
Mhm.
it's all of that. Like, I mean, you even see it now with this Christian nationalism that's going through. Like,
Mhm.
all of that kind of feeds in to like what this thing was about. And then you realize, and not even realize, like, you remember like, yeah, that's what this thing was actually about,
Right, right.
right? And so I think it's also that it's a big defense mechanism, this armor that's
Mhm.
built up, where you feel like you're not fighting against flesh and blood, right? This seems a lot bigger than what you are,
Mhm.
right? And it seems very intrinsic in how people operate and how the country operates. I think all of that kind of plays into it, um, which um, is not an excuse, because if I were truly dialed in, then you're just like, God's bigger. Like, he's bigger than all of that, right? It's
Mhm.
still whether that exists, whether it happened, whether you know it's actively against, like, it's still Christ was dealing with all of that,
Mhm. Well, you're right.
and more, right?
Mhm.
Um, and he never wavered on. Like, he was just like, all right, this is, you know, I'm here for you. Like, what else can I take? Give me another one,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? Um, and so I'm not making excuses. I'm just trying to, it's difficult to get to that space. And it's probably one of the hardest spaces I've been able to get to
Mhm.
over time. Um,
Yeah, trying to understand what I get that it is. I'm not. I don't fully understand why it is. You know, and that might
yeah.
just be because of where I stand on it. I think that's easy. It's easy for me. I don't understand why it's actually so hard. But I get that it is.
Yeah, I think I've seen the difference between the way Black Americans deal with it, West Indians deal with it, Africans deal with it, Africans who have migrated to Europe deal with, like, I it's everybody has a different perspective on it based upon their experience.
Mhm.
Um, no shade either way. I just think, but when you come back to your point, um, to what is expected of us, of all of us, from Christ, then that's where the rubber meets the road, and it's like, oh, you're not living up to what the expectation and what He's called you to
True,
be.
true, true. Yeah, I've been in a space of, you know, the otherization of, and it's just we otherize so easily along all kinds of,
Mhm.
you know, spiritual, we otherize by righteousness, by gender, by color, by, finance, by, we just otherize.
But
You,
it's everything.
it's
It's
everything.
you like. it- I'm not sure there's an aspect or of life where we don't otherize, right? You're taught to otherize. Like, it's Knicks versus Bulls. It's, skins versus, it's not skins, sorry. Commanders versus Cowboys. It's it's Bama versus Vols. It's Bama versus like,
Yeah,
we always
we
otherize.
otherize everything. Yeah.
Everything is otherized, right? It's Real Madrid versus Barca. Like, it's
Children, parents,
everything is
old people,
authorized.
young people.
Was that
It's children, parents, old people, young people.
children, parents, young people, like Republican, Democrat,
Single versus
independent?
married.
Like,
It's
it's
every,
everybody, MAGA versus, like, everything is otherized. Um, we've seen it in apartheid. We've seen it, like, and it goes. It's not just America doesn't own it. right? It's
No, it's not.
always,
Right.
and then you go back to the to the story you say is Jews versus Samaritans. It's
Jews versus everybody,
Jews
including
versus everybody.
Samaritans.
Yeah,
It's Jews and non-Jews. I mean, that's how
Jews,
they refer to everybody as Gentiles. It's Jews
Gentiles versus
and
like
everybody.
it's Jews versus Gentiles in which I guess is the rest of the world. Like it's
Correct.
Detroit. What was it? Eminem and thing that Detroit versus everybody. Like it was literally it's always been that way.
Yeah, and I guess why it was standing out was the lady said, "But Jacob is our father."
Yeah.
Yes.
But Jacob is our father. She said, "Our
Yeah.
father is Jacob." But wait, what?
Yeah, we hate
And I
cousins
think
now.
about how we otherize broadly, and we all go in, but we all made in the image of the same God. So how are we really that others?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really what I was reflecting on. It was just amusing to see how profoundly ridiculous the idea is. We otherize it to
Yeah.
Samaritans and saying, but Jacob is our father. Wow, well, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, that was one of the things I had today. But I'm gonna pause and see if anybody else had anything that they wanted to, just share, like amusing, or they had, something they wrestled with, or something they disagreed with. Or how about you,
I
Kenneth?
had something that I gotta find it though. Give 1 sec.
How you do that?
I tell you the truth.
Go ahead if you got something else, but
All
I
right,
don't know. I'm
John,
looking for it.
hold on. So I had John chapter 15 and Ezra chapter 1. Which one do you want?
Go John 15.
All right, John chapter 15. 9 through 17, Courtney.
Okay. Got it. Just as the Father has loved me, I have loved you. Now remain in my love. If you obey my commands, you will remain in my love. In the same way, I have obeyed my Father's commands and remain in his love. I have told you this so that you will have the same joy that I have. I also want your joy to be complete. Here's my command: love one another just as I have loved you. No one has greater love than the one who gives their life for their friends. You are my friends if you do what I command. If I do not call you slaves anymore, slaves do not know their master's business. Instead, I've called you friends. I have told you everything I learned from my father. All the way to the end, 17.
17.
Yeah. You did not choose me. Instead, I chose you. I appointed you that you may go and bear fruit that will last. I also appointed you so that the Father will give you what you ask for. He will give you whatever you ask for in my name. Here is my command: love one another.
12, 15, 18. Yeah, so my question is, what is a friend? Well, that's not my first question. What is a friend?
One that sticks closer than a brother. I don't know. I don't know. What can we say?
I always thought as a friend as someone who had your best interest.
Would that fit into what Jesus is describing here?
Yeah, I mean, no one has greater love than one who gives their life for their friends.
It seems like a friend may be someone that you love as much as you love yourself, or as much as God loves you. More, that's what it is. Because the verse before it's like, "This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you." No greater love than someone that laid down his life for his friends. And so Jesus is referring to us as his friends and telling us before that you should love each other like I love you.
Right.
what do they owe him as friend? And is their relationship reciprocal?
No.
Yes.
What?
Ooh.
It says it here. Me and you is
You
cool.
expect-
You do as I
you-
say, and you ask the Father, and He gives you what you want in my name. That's reciprocal.
You think that
Reciprocal, not is each of them giving something? Are they giving the same things?
Reciprocal
That's how I
doesn't need to be,
explore to
reciprocal
find-
doesn't need to be the same thing. Reciprocal needs to be giving of what I can afford to give.
no, reciprocal is the same.
No, it's not. To reciprocate doesn't mean to give back the same thing.
The reciprocates to give back equal value.
Again, I can never have equal value to the Father or the Son or the
But-
Holy Spirit for that
That's my
matter.
point.
But I can reciprocate in what I'm able to give, the equivalent of my value.
No.
Yes, it's like
Absolutely
saying
not.
it's like a couple. For instance, you put 80% of your check, I put 80% of my check. If you make 2 million and I make 1 million, I am still giving you the 80%. It's not the same value, but it's still the same amount. It's what I can give.
No, I disagree. It is the
I'm
same
sorry.
value because you're giving all that you can. What
And
I'm
as a
saying is
human,
that
I'm giving you all I can.
no, I don't know if
Yes.
I don't know if that's always the case.
No, we talk about in this situation, I'm saying it's reciprocal.
In which one?
The one that we talking about in John.
That's not necessarily reciprocating.
What you mean?
You think they
So-
give in John? He's given all that he can, reciprocating all that he can. Like
God
we
gave
are.
you his life. What else do you want, greedy?
No. I'm saying he gave that.
Right.
What else do you think I can give?
You are now giving all you can, which is the love that you had that you have because he has for you. That's all you have to give. I mean, I think as a society, we talked about this before years ago, the different levels of love and all that stuff, and we use that word so
Yeah.
darn loosely. But
I don't believe in
it's-
levels of love.
What? What'd you just say?
I don't. I don't want to get sidetracked. That's my fault.
What I'm saying is to love someone and to execute against that love is a bigger thing than we realize. Most of us don't love each other. Let's be very clear. Because I ain't gonna do half the stuff that's required of me to say that I really
I love
you.
y'all, man.
That's a lie. You're not taking no bullets for me, son. Like, and I appreciate it because I ain't taking none for you neither.
I
You know,
would take a no.
You would.
I would take a
You would.
bullet for you.
You wouldn't.
And Jared and Courtney.
You would not, Kendra. Cut it out.
Okay, so I wouldn't.
Right.
I would.
You
'cause
consider
I wouldn't want anybody to tell me that I wouldn't.
So reciprocal is not
can you pick where the
symmetry.
bullet goes?
It's shared movement. So it's both people giving. It's not both people giving the same thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Hold on. Hold on. If you give me $1 million and I give back $100,
It's the act, not the amount.
we're both giving. Value has to mean something. And I'm not saying value has to be the same, but value has to be like a part of it.
So
it can't be just me giving.
It's not the amount, it's the effort. It's the contribution,
Agreed.
the nature of the
Agreed.
contribution. So if
Agreed.
you give $1 million and you have 5 million, right? And I give $100 and I have 150, right? Now we haven't,
I'm with you. I'm just saying, in and of itself, it can't just be the giving of.
I didn't give you that. I gave you the percentage example. I said 80%.
It's not percentage.
No, I'm saying that's an example in that, to your point, if you have 2 million and you put 80% of your money in, I have 200 and I put 80% of my money in, it's the same effort. It's the same sacrifice. The 80% is the same sacrifice.
I think
My point
why
is
the reason the
maybe.
reason I'm highlighting
Maybe.
it is the only reason I'm highlighting it is I had the impression that we were given the same thing.
No,
And,
never. And
and
that's the
so I was
downside of
able
the
to see
word.
that it's not the same thing. It's just mutual effort, mutual giving, it says mutual responsiveness, a two-way exchange where each person contributes something that sustains the relationship.
I agree with
Both
Sherika
directions,
on this.
mutually return.
I agree with Sherika on this. So
You said Sherika.
Feels good to be back, folks.
So your 80% and my 80% still may not be the same.
Right.
I guess that's my point.
No, it may not.
Right? I may be willing to give up my 80%. It means nothing to me, and I just give it up.
Correct.
Right? I think the value comes where Christ is willing to give up his life. What are you willing to give up?
My will.
Even if I'm willing to give up 80% and I'm still fine with living with the other 20%, it's still not the equivalent of what Christ has given up. From my perspective,
you love one another as I love you is heavy. That in so many ways, that's me willing to give up my life. Think about it. Love them as I love you, and I love you enough to die for you.
Facts.
So I'm going to give my life. You're going to love them. As a result of this nice little exchange, you ask for stuff in my name, I'm going to talk to the big homie. He going to make it happen.
So I see where you're going. I'm closer.
So is a friend as Jesus is using it here, someone with whom you have is a selection of the friend based on reciprocity?
No. No. You're correct. No.
I guess I'm gonna read the questions I have. The first one is, what is a friend definition? I guess have we answered that one with a friend?
I don't know if we got.
I don't think so. No.
All right, let's start there. What is a friend? I found something interesting here. The word here for friend, philos, is related to the word for love, filio. It's
see, I was going down that path. Come on now, Kenrick, pick your bag up.
You were, and 100%. You were. No lies. No lies.
But it's a friend, an associate, he who associates familiarly with one, a companion, one of the bridegroom's friends who asks on behalf to handle the bride. Oh, okay. I guess that's where it's used, but not necessarily a definition. I'm gonna ask Uncle
I
Chad.
always thought this was in context of like, well, I guess there were two things that were used when it talked about how we were like the extremes of how people were treated, right? It was a good Samaritan, right? Which was someone who was not someone that was within your sphere, right? It wasn't considered someone that you were acquainted with, someone you interacted with on a regular basis, somebody that wasn't within like the group, right? So I've looked at it from that perspective.
But that's a neighbor, right? The good Samaritan, the word was was neighbor.
100%. So I'm just saying how it kind of viewed it, right? So yes. And then you had and then what I found was within the way the Gospels and I guess, some of the earlier books on top of that, friend was always spoken about someone that had like a same belief system. Like they were all within like this faith. And so I always kind of just group those two together, right? Neighbor to your point, and this friend person that was like very much someone who believes something or within the same belief system as you.
Okay. But the word here for friend, philos, I asked the chat to define it. So that philos is someone loved, someone cherished, someone brought in to personal affection and loyalty, which would make sense because that describes filial love. It's that brotherly, affectionate, I have affection for you type love. So a friend is someone who is cherished.
It's closer than a brother.
I guess I'm trying to figure out, is a friend someone who is cherished or someone who is cherished because they cherish you? Because that's how we define friend right now, right? I cherish you because you cherish me.
No.
You have friends that you cherish that don't return the cherishing.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
And you call them friends?
Yep.
100%.
Say you call them friend. What do they call you? I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know, but that's my.
They'll call me friend too.
Wow, I did not expect that.
I've said to people before, I'm like, I'm a friend to you. You're not a friend to me, and I'm cool.
Yes. I am being a friend to you.
Right?
Yes. But are you my friend?
No.
I have friends. I have friends who are not friends to me.
Right.
That's like, yo.
That's a regular thing. Jared, the fact that you don't have any of those,
but they're still my friends.
They're still my friend, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm not saying I don't have any of those.
And I'm not even saying like I'm not that same person to other people.
I'm sure I play that role. I'm sure I'm
100% believe I can play that role too. Like,
I'm sure
I'm not above that role.
I guess I've heard people say that the people they consider friends are the ones who are friends to them.
Yeah,
not
I think that's BS.
The people who they choose to be friendly to.
Yeah, I think that's all BS.
I think that's self-centering and self-pleasing.
100%.
I agree. And that's why this stuck out to me, because Jesus appears to be selecting people and referring to them as friends as something he is doing, not what they are doing for him.
100%.
Like, you are my friend because I chose you to be my friend.
100%.
You have not yet done anything. And even if you don't do anything, I must still regard you as my friend.
100%.
Yep.
And, that was standing out to me, because I've been in conversations where people are like, no, they're only my friends if they're nice to me in return. Otherwise, they're associates or whatever. Like,
no. I won't say never, because I don't.
Wow.
I'm sure I have, but I would say that I in most cases, I am friends with people because of who they are, not because of who or what they can do or how they treat me.
Same.
Interesting here that friend in Greek, this word here, it says a friend in Greek is not primarily defined by mutual activities or shared interests. It's defined by belovedness. So the emphasis is not someone you hang out with, someone you get along with, someone in your social circle. The emphasis is someone you extend love toward, someone bound to you with loyal affection, someone you treat as dear. I was like, wow.
But I think, Jared, I speak for myself, the older I've gotten, the more mature I've gotten, and the more I understand God's love, I've been able to differentiate that, or to be clear on the fact that there are people that I am friends to just because, as Kendrick said, of who they are, right? And knowing they could never give me what I give them. And that's okay, because I'm squeezing it out of somebody else. Let's be very clear, right? Like, I've called Kendrick 3 times this week and ate up his conversation for something, okay?
So first of all, don't do that. Don't do that.
He ain't getting nothing out of that conversation outside.
You ain't squeezing nothing out of me. Pause.
Right. Shrieking drama is all he getting out of it. But then pause. Then but on the flip side, you know, I don't know half these people that I'm serving in Jamaica, but I'm having a ball doing it, right? And connected with them. So it you just do it because of who they are.
Yeah. It's interesting to hear you all define friend like that. I was sure that the universal understanding of friend is um, someone who's deserving of my time and attention because of what they have done or will do or can do for me. And I don't mean it in a provision type way. I mean it's I've heard it be if they're not being nice to you, loyal to you, supportive of you, then that's not your friend.
See, but
As opposed to that's my friend because I chose to be a friend to them. Like that.
You're talking to three anomalies, right? So let's be we could I mean, Courtney, we could probably name off 2-3 homies for the Bronx we ain't talked to in centuries, but them's is still my friends, right? And it's not reciprocal. I think again, I think it depends on your maturity and your understanding of relationships to understand that it's impossible for this to be equal all my life every single time. And it's also crazy to value yourself so much to believe that if I call you and you don't answer the phone, it's because you beefing with me or you don't got time for me or you. What if you don't feel like talking? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
what if you don't like your phone's not even there? Like
right.
it's just like
there's so many things at play, but
yeah.
I think people who have this equal thing don't realize that they're not truly friends to people. Because if you understood what you're asking someone for, you can't deliver that all the time. And you're also making some horrible assumptions about where somebody is and isn't during the time of whatever you think is going on.
And the thing is like you realize that like I got a call I got a call a couple years ago from somebody, and I hadn't talked to this person in 15 years. And they were like, yo, I'm sorry about this. I think this, this clearly got in the way of our relationship. And I was like,
oh, what?
I was like, I thought we were cool. Like I was I didn't even think about I didn't even know. I mean, I knew that thing happened, but I didn't know that it got in the way. And so I think that a lot of people like put a lot of different values on things. Jewel got a call one day. It was like, hey, I'm interviewing for friends, best friends. It's like, wow, we're interviewing. Like, is this through Indeed? Like, did you put in, like, I don't know if this is a right. So
I think thinking my friendship experience with other people to determine whether I'll be a good friend to you.
And so I think that so to your point, I think where you're coming from is like truly a real space, because I think there are a lot of people that feel that way. Right.
Particularly when they delineate between friends and associates. Like, so my friends are the ones with whom I have this reciprocal dynamic.
Correct. Yeah. Well, but even that can be misconstrued, because I've spoken to people. I think I told Jared. We spoke about this. Like, there was somebody that was like, aren't we friends? And I was like, no, like we're not friends.
Yeah.
But it's not bad. It's not bad.
We're not friends. I don't. And when I say we're not friends, like I'm not saying like you're to Sharika, you're 100%, like we're not I'm like, I don't have any ill will to you.
Right.
I was like, but you don't, like, I don't know anything about you. I say hello to you every once a week when I see you at church. Like, you don't ask me about my life. You don't check on me. Like, I don't know anything about you, and you don't know anything about me. I don't know if we're friends, but we're cool. Like, I don't have any beef with you.
I had somebody stop talking to me years ago because of that same thing. They were like, "Are we friends?" And I was like, "I'm your friend." And they were like, "Yeah, but are we friends?" I was like, "I'm your friend. I'm like, I'm here for you." They're like, "Well, do you consider me a friend?" No, I don't tell you anything. What are we talking about? Like, but I'm here for you.
I
And
like
they
how you
stopped
all are saying that, because now this definition is making more sense now. It says a friend is one who is loved with personal affection. That's my impetus to you. But then it's the second part, and brought into relational closeness.
And that can be a one-way street. You can bring me into your life and I can genuinely be happy there. And also, I think people think that because, to Kendrick's point, just because I don't bring you into my life means that you're unworthy. That's not true either. The opportunity may have never presented itself. And so, therefore, we've only gotten this close. Or every time I speak to you, you may have needed something from me and I'm willing to give it to you. And that's just where we are. Right. But I think when we look at this reciprocation, I think a lot of times people use it because it gets them from not feeling bad. Either guilty that they're such a giving person, or guilty that they're taking so much and they want people to feel like they're giving them something back, knowing darn well they're not. And that being okay.
I'm gonna read on. It says, brought into relational closeness, trusted with the heart, aligned in purpose, and embraced with loyal commitment. Again, that's outward direction. It's not necessarily an exchange.
Correct.
Now, there could be situations where the person who you give that to is giving that back to you.
Correct.
Right.
What I've been understanding is friendship is where that exists both ways. Where that
Correct.
I am giving out that way, they are giving back the next way.
But that's not being a friend.
The person for whom it is true that it goes both ways with you and them, that is your friend. Is how I understood friendship before.
I thought so too.
That's
I
friendship.
thought so too.
Or that's what that person would be, the one who's my friend, the one for whom it goes. You know, it's true for me and them.
Yeah, I'm their friend. But I didn't know that. It's funny. Just like they talked about it, and then I was like, "Yo," I realized that when I got older too. Like, and it's real. It's like real spiel. It's like when, for me personally, I will put myself in these relationships, choosing these people, and being there for folks. And what I realized that, especially when I was going through things, and I would try to call them to have the same exchange. Now I need some support from you. Like now I need you to kind of throw some things off you, and blah blah blah, and they're not available. So then you start to be like, wait, like damn, yo, you could call me like anytime, and I'm here, like I'm listening. I'm like giving you like, all right, yo, it's gonna be all right, blah blah blah. Da, da. Me, it's like, damn, like they ain't got no time. They don't like, and it's probably more than once. That's when I started to realize. I was like, damn, I'm really more of a friend to them than like for real. Like if I need something from them, I really can't just hit them up like that, But like it's crazy. It's like you realize that, like again, it didn't make me stop being there for them, but it was just a realization of like okay, it's not what I thought it was. Like
you understand? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh god,
yeah,
cool.
But also, I want to say sometimes these people just they ain't even got to give to you.
Which is why I'm lingering in this text, right? Because Jesus said, "You're my friend," knowing these people was going to crap on him.
Yeah,
he needed them in the moment, and they couldn't stay up to pray with him. Like he couldn't count on them for much or nothing, really.
Right.
Yeah.
But still chose to select them as friends and said, "You are my friend," which is why to me it was, Courtney, I guess you here with me a little bit more than the other two over here.
And we friends, man.
Because to me, the person who qualified the space that I was been coming from and my understanding before was that the person who qualified to be called friend
Mhm.
was the one where that exchange was mutual.
Mm. Mm.
But this is saying that the person who qualifies to be friend, to be called my friend, is the one I choose to give that to, whether or
Correct.
not it's reciprocal.
Correct.
And that's
And the
what this
thing is,
was doing for me.
and that's what I learned that by God's grace, I learned that from my parents, right?
Tell me more.
That's where I first saw it simplified, right? It was when my parents, oh shoot, I don't want my joint to go out. Um, I saw my parents give, and I'm not just talking about resources but like time, effort, you know, bringing people into the home, like all of that, right? And very rarely was it reciprocated. And you look at them, it's not even like a conversation I always had with them. I've had the conversation, but you look at them and there's like it like like it is what it is. Like what has Christ called us to be, right? And so for me it's just always it's just always been, right?
Mhm.
Not because of me, but because
But
of what I
the
saw.
socialization, right?
Socialization. Like I witnessed it, I experienced it, I saw it, I did it, we did it through them. And it was never, ever like the first car I had was because they were just like, we got you. Let us know what you need. And the person was like, I can't, after a couple years, like, I can't do it. Right. And they took the car back. It was
Oh,
like,
wow.
we'll just take the car. Don't worry about giving us the money back. Don't worry about doing it. Like we'll just take the car, right? And it's fine, no big deal. And they were like, Kendrick, this is now your car, right? But it was like that they just constantly gave,
Mhm.
constantly gave. And so for me, it never became friendship, relationships. It never became reciprocal, right? It just kind of is what it is. I have a really good friend that I haven't spoken to in 15, 16 years.
Yeah, because
I,
they had beef and
he's
you
my
didn't know.
he's my friend. He's my friend. I've reached out, right?
Mm.
At some point, they'll reach back out. At some point before I die. Hopefully not I don't die tonight. But like at some point, they'll reach out. Like it's I've always been taught like it's never been that. And as I've gotten older, I realized that that's what Christ exemplified through his life. Like that's what he, in the words he spoke, in the life he lived. Um, and so when you talk about, I've never thought of friendship like a friend being like that being reciprocated in order to be a friend. I didn't need to be a friend because you were a friend to me, or I didn't need to be a friend to you so that you were a friend to me. It was always just like you provided this. I provided friend. And I don't want to say friendship because I think friendship is kind of
When it goes back up, when it goes back,
when it goes back and
when
forth.
it's true for
Correct. It's
you and for me.
reciprocated. Correct. I provided friend to you. And that's all that was required of me.
Mm.
I
It's
think
nice
that's
when you have the going back and forth, but your friends are not just those people.
Absolutely.
no.
It's great when it goes back and forth, right? Because I think we all, no matter what the situation is, there's always a situation where we need someone to advocate for us, to help us, whatever it is, right? So to be able to call and be like, or text or whatever, be like, hey, can you help me with this? Whatever that this is, right? That's always great. But for me to base my relationship or my kindness or my friend helping, whatever that thing is, for me to base that on this reciprocation of that,
Mhm.
I just think I don't see that exemplified in who Christ was.
I didn't either, which is why I raised it, because that's what I see here. Like, I'm gonna lean into. We talk a lot about help and being there. This is emphasizing chosen intimacy. So it's who I choose to give intimacy,
Mhm.
and the basis for the intimacy is not they're giving you intimacy, right? Neither is it mutual affection or shared interests or whatever. It's really just a person who you bring into that space. I'm choosing you to bring you into my space in this regard and give you all of these things.
Mhm.
Man.
But it says the relationship is formed by personal affection, shared purpose, loyal love, and trusted intimacy.
Yeah, I mean, no.
Loyal love.
That's what it says here. I guess I could ask it to tell me more about loyal love.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Nobody out here loyal, dog.
I'm trying to think. When the dude find out, like, yo, the girlfriend that he loved, or that was his girlfriend, so he thought, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's loyal love, biblically and relationally. The closest biblical concept is a word called chesed, often translated steadfast love, covenant love, loving kindness, faithful love, mercy, loyal love. It's one of the deepest words in scriptures. Loyal love is not merely emotion, it's not mere commitment, it's not mere duty, it's not mere affection. It's all of these braided together. Loyal love says, my love for you is not fragile, fickle, or contingent. I stay with you, carry you, and seek your good, even when it costs me. Sounds a little bit like agape. It's love that holds, not merely love that feels. Loyal love is covenant love, not a contract, not a deal, not measured reciprocity. But I bind my goodwill to you. Your well being matters to me in a way that I won't abandon. Loyal love is active, not passive. It moves towards the beloved. It protects, provides, advocates, repairs, sacrifices, restores, and returns. Sounds a lot like agape. Loyal love is love despite love. It's durable, it survives strain, it survives disappointment. It sounds like 1 Corinthians 13.
Yeah, I was gonna say that 100% sounds like First Corinthians
Loyal love
13.
is the foundation of friendship. So I'm going to ask,
You should ask it what's unloyal love.
I will ask that as well.
So this is what I know.
Loyal love and agape are not the same. They overlap, but they're not the same.
Loyal and agape are not.
Mm-mm. Every act of loyal love is a form of agape, but not all agape is covenant anchored loyal love.
Let's see. Okay, that makes sense. So what I know is this. So I know in the 4 squares here, right?
Oh,
So me and Courtney haven't spent a lot of time hanging out outside of these 4 squares. Now I know Courtney loves turkey legs and dressing up for, like all this other medieval stuff. And I was like, I don't know.
Fire.
But Sherika does too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I do know that with Jared and Sharika, not Sherika, but Sharika, I do have a friendship with them to where I don't like it I think like I trust them, right? And so from that perspective, like, and the trust is, I would assume, I can't speak on their behalf, but I would assume it's reciprocated,
Yes.
right? And
There's
so
there's one of those relationships.
correct. Like those are easy relationships, right? But it's also because we've done life and all kinds of stuff. Pause. All kinds of stuff together, right?
I didn't even,
I'm trusting that
my
me
brain
and
didn't even go there. But okay.
even though Courtney has all that Giants gear behind him, I'm
Yeah.
assuming that we can have that same type of relationship,
What's up?
based upon a turkey leg. I don't know
Yeah.
about all the other stuff, right? That goes
Right.
along with turkey legs and all that kind of stuff, right? Ain't
Right.
nobody going to moco and sitting out in the field for 12 hours
Right.
watching Bama's joust. But whatever.
Right.
That's what people do.
That's right.
And so I think like those are the areas that I'm just like, those are the easy ones.
Mm-hmm.
It's, the not so easy ones are the ones where you're left out.
What do you mean left out?
You're left out hanging. Like it's like, and I'm not saying left out hanging like without like you understand where you are, right? You understand the role you play, and being a friend is different than the reciprocation of friendship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so, when I'm looking at all of those things, I'm just like, I kind of think that's where, even more so than all that, I think that's where God wants us to be. Because it it literally exemplifies who he is to us. And that's why I was like, kind of pushing back with Sherika, because I was like, there's literally nothing that I can provide. There's no value that I have
Other than the relationship itself.
other than relationship with self and giving everything that I possibly have.
To the
Right?
relationship. To the intimate part of the relationship.
Which still is, the best of me is filthy rags.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's period panties. Right? It's tampons and pads. Soil.
Yes. Yes.
That's the best that I can provide in this relationship, and I got to give all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I guess that's why I'm just like, he's exemplified kind of what it is to be in this space where you friend with zero expectations, and the next level of friending was, is laying down one's life, right? with zero expectations.
That's the loyal love. That's the
loyal love.
mm,
And that's where I know I'm not at.
Yeah.
Zero at. I can do it for my wife. She's a little older. I can rationalize why I wouldn't, but that's fine. I can do it for my wife. I can do it for my kids.
Yeah.
Right? I can do it for friends' kids. I understand that. It's Christ did it for everyone.
everybody.
Regardless. Like, think of who right now is your Steve Bannon. Like, sorry, I didn't mean to make a name. I'm just saying, think about who doesn't like who that person is.
Who you otherwise it?
Who you 100%. Who you're otherizing, and he did it for them, which means that full circle. How can I otherwise? And so, it's incumbent upon me. And I'm not going to talk about anybody else. It's incumbent upon me to exemplify that, no matter how difficult and how hard it is.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, this is what I'm glad that came out, because I feel like the last several months that's been what I've been wrestling with. Like, and I'm realizing that like every day as I'm going through things, I'm like having that dialogue to myself, like, God and then Jesus, what he did. I'm supposed like that's supposed to kind of like inspire me to be that way. And I'm like really wrestling with that all the time. Like I feel like it's literally a die to self every day. Like I got to be willing to that do that right thing toward everyone. And it's like you said, sometimes that gets me. The realization is that others don't value me that same way to do that same thing for me. But that's not supposed to dissuade me from doing it. And I feel like my ego, my pride, all those things would tell me, nah, not them. Or you know what I mean? It's like, and I feel like I'm wrestling with that every day. It's like not not allowing that feeling of thought of reciprocity is not there, so I'm going to pull back. It's like, no, keep giving your best in all of these.
Yeah, and you're right. Ego and pride is, I mean, that's the only thing that would keep me from, to your last statement, like giving your best, like giving my best. Like it would be ego and pride.
That's the only thing. I have to be like, I'm really checking myself every day. Like, man, it's like, try not to focus on that part. Like, what would they do this for me, or I'm not getting this, or whatever. Like, but I keep talking about, and I'm like God it asked me to do it for that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Facts.
And that, Courtney, is what struck me in this, because like when you look at who Jesus called friends, them people wasn't doing nothing for him.
right.
And when he asked them to do something for him, like he had to harass them and be behind them for the little simple things that he's asking. And he's like, yeah,
Facts.
I call you friend. I chose you. You didn't choose me. I chose you. And I'm asking for something, and you're my friend if you do what I say, but like, because I've chosen you, even if you don't do it, you'll continue to be my friend because I chose you. Not because you do what.
And that's what Ken was telling. Like, hey, I chose my spouse, and whether she gonna hook me up or not, I'm gonna still. You know what? These kids, I chose to have them. and I'm gonna ride out for them, regardless of
All right.
they
That's
check
that
for
loyal
me.
love.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. See, I had a couple of other questions, but I feel like we touched all of them. How does Jesus appear to select his friends? I'm not sure we went into the details of that. What's the basis, criteria, qualifications? Like,
Where he selects us as friends.
how does he appear to select his friends?
I don't know. He walked past them when they're in their job, and he said, "Come on." He said, "Come on."
The qualifications Jesus used to select his friends. But I think we've kind of.
But no, but I think that's a legit question. It was like, how did he select?
He's not just his disciples, but his friends, right? He selected his disciples, they became students, and then he transitioned them to friends. He's like, you are not just servants anymore. I'm now regarding you as friends. I'm now, because you don't give your servants intimacy.
Yeah,
Servants are in a certain kind of relationship where they do stuff for you, they answer your day every day, but your servants aren't really your friends unless you sharing intimate moments and revealing yourself
Correct.
and trusting them with parts of you,
Correct.
and
Yep.
So he transitions them to friends.
so you mean like Lazarus? I just read a story to my daughter tonight. Like Lazarus, that was his boy.
Mhm. Yeah.
Said, but I don't know. I mean, maybe I didn't read it right. Well,
No,
where
no,
they
you,
talk
you
about
I
it.
feel you right. Lazarus and Mary were, and Lazarus was his friend.
Mhm.
Mary and Martha too were his friends.
Yeah, he
They
said,
were,
that's my boy. That's his sisters. So it's like, all right, you know.
yeah,
But he was,
disciple is a more formal relationship, like a student teacher. Like your
Mhm.
teacher is not necessarily a friend, or your students are not
I got
necessarily
you. I
your
got
friend.
you.
yeah, but he was different from that perspective, right? Because I'm not gonna say that. Maybe I will say. So I'm gonna go out on a. Soon after, he called his disciples, not whether they were disciples at the time, but he called them. He integrated them into his life
Yes,
as friends, right? As
as students, because students and teachers
yes,
in that
but
space, they did life together. That was the nature of the
well, like I
discipleship
said,
relationship.
so I will say that.
Mm,
I think that's probably better. I won't say as friends, but to the point where they did life together outside the parameter of teacher student.
It was
Like
within the parameter, but
they live.
that's how teacher students lived in those days. Yes, that's how that discipleship thing works. It's almost like when think about kung fu.
I
Those
never
kung
lived
fu
with my
movies.
teacher. One teacher I would have loved to live with, but I never lived with her.
Yeah,
That's fine.
in Western society is a little bit different. But like
Okay. All right.
think
Sorry.
about like one of the best illustrations of it is them kung fu movies where the guy has a school and all the people living there and they're there every day and they get up and they do chores and they live in
Yes.
together and
Correct.
that's what that kind of discipleship relationship is. All those students when they have a school like that are disciples, and so they
Gotcha.
do life together in that space, as
Okay.
they're learning all of those stuff. But it's still a hands off. I'm a student, you're the teacher, you have respect for me, we know one another. But when the teachers start, being more creating a space that's more intimate, that's when you can transition to friends.
okay.
And I
So,
thought that's what Christ did. Go ahead, Courtney. Sorry
Yes,
about that.
but
oh
he
no,
does
no, I was
that
gonna say
later
something.
on, right? He does that later on. He doesn't start there. That comes. It comes.
Right. So that's when John becomes the disciple, the one that he loves, like as he would say, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
because he transitions. That's what this appears to be saying. He transitions the relationship, and he does it. And this just before he died, right? Like
Yeah.
all of these conversations is the last kind of talk they had before. They, you know, it's close to the end of their um, just before he gets arrested.
That's called.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they move from students to friends.
So when he died, then they're like, man,
Yeah. All right.
They only realize when you're gone, baby. That's how I go. That's how I go.
Did you find what you were looking for, Kendrick?
I did. So, John 11. I'm gonna see if I can ask this in a constructive way. Does God require us 100% to believe in the thing that He's going to do? The reason why I ask that we want Him to do, that we want Him to do.
Mm.
The reason why I ask is that I think John 11, I got to go back through it. I think that's where, was it Lazarus was raised from the dead in that chapter?
Yeah.
Martha, hold on. Actually, let me just bring it up so I don't misquote it. John 11.
24.
Geez.
21.
Sorry, I'm going.
Yeah, John 11, 21.
Yeah, that's like.
Well, I think it starts a little farther back. So 17.
17.
When Jesus arrived in Bethany, he was told that Lazarus had already been in his grave for 4 days. Bethany was only a few miles away from the river. When Martha got word that Jesus was coming, she went to meet him. But Mary stayed in the house. Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if only you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now, I know that God will give you whatever you ask." Even when she said that, the next thing was that Jesus told her, "Your brother will rise again." And yes, Martha said, "He will rise when everyone else rises at the last day." So even when she said what she was saying, she didn't mean what she was saying.
Or she didn't fully grasp the possibility, because sometimes we're stuck in our perception of reality.
100%. 100%. Jesus told her, "I am the resurrection and life. Anyone who believes in me will live even after dying. Everyone who lives in me, believes in me, will never die. Do you believe this, Martha?" "Yes, Lord," she told him. "I always believed you are the Messiah, the Son of God, the one who has come into the world from God." Then she left. And then it goes down, and Jesus cried. And then he says, the people were standing nearby, see how much he loved him. Da, 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 da. Jesus was still angry at the right too. We talked about this the other day. Rolls to the side. Jesus responded, "Did I tell you that?" Okay, so 40. Jesus responded, "Didn't I tell you that you would see God's glory if you believe?" My question is, did Martha believe? She believed in him. She didn't necessarily believe in what he was going to be able to do. And my question is, what is it that we're required to believe?
So I would not characterize it like that. Yes, we will be unified. Yes, she believed in him. Yes, in what he's able to do. I think there's another aspect there of what he is going to do or is willing to do, right?
Do you think that's what she was looking at? Just reading through the narrative, right? Just reading through the story, it didn't seem like there was anything that she was there. Like, it didn't seem like it was in the realm of her thought process,
right,
that he was going to raise
no,
him from the dead.
I don't I don't think that was a consideration, but I don't know that just because something is not a consideration or possibility doesn't mean that it's lack of belief.
No. That's what I'm saying. So her belief was in him,
Right.
right? She clearly stated it wasn't within her realm of belief that he would raise him for the dead, whether she believed it or not. Like, it never crossed her mind based upon the narrative.
Doesn't appear that way, no.
It doesn't appear that way,
Mm-mm.
right? It does appear that, yes, Lord, I believe you are the Messiah. I believe you are this guy. I believe you came here. Like, all of the other stuff, I believe you are that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even looking at whether or not you can raise him from the dead, because it's not crossed my mind at this particular time, right? I know that I've heard that you've healed people from, you've healed people, which is why I was kind of a little salty because you waited so long, right? I know that you've done that. The dead, I don't know about, right? So yes, I believe at some point he'll be raised in the second coming when you come back. My question is, I had a friend who passed away a couple weeks ago, and I remember praying really hard she was young, like praying for her healing. And when I read this, I was like, I know when I was praying, I knew God can do it. 100%, like zero doubts in my mind that he can do it. When I read this, it never crossed Martha's mind whether he could do it or not.
To ask for that.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
To ask for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, all he said is, "Do you believe?" And then he talked to her in verse 40 and said, "Didn't I tell you that you would see God's glory if you believe?" And so they rolled the stone aside. Then Jesus looked up to heaven and said, "Father, thank you for hearing me. You always hear me, but I said it out loud for the sake of all these people standing here, so that they will believe you sent me." And Jesus shouted, "Lazarus, come forth," or "come out."
So, key point here.
Yep.
The outcome of Lazarus raising from the dead is to serve the purpose of people believing that he was sent from God. It was
100%.
It was a sign that validated his identity. Martha was already there. So the sign may have solidified it, but she was already there.
So this had nothing. So my question is, how much does this have to do with belief? And how much does this have to do with just God doing what he needs to do at that particular time?
Belief in what?
Well, no, he stated, "Didn't I tell you?" And but Martha, the dead man's sister, protested, "Lord, he has been dead for 4 days. The smell is terrible." Verse 39, I think. In verse 40, Jesus responded, and he responded to her.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
"Didn't I tell you that you would see God's glory if you believe?" Not in whether or not I will raise him, but whether or not I am who I am.
Right.
And so my question is like, what I took away from is like, there's so many times we try to believe in God for what he can do, as opposed to just believing in God for who he is.
Right.
And who he is whatever he can do anything.
Correct.
Right? Is it
When
necessary?
we had the conversation about the boat, when Jesus was on the boat, and we were talking about what their faith was, and whether it, you know, they came to Jesus, and so, but doesn't that demonstrate faith? Do you remember that?
Mhm.
Were you here for that conversation?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And we landed with how belief informs action.
Yes.
It's Zachariah, Mary. It's, you know, it's
Yep. We talked
Lord.
about that. It
Don't you
was.
think we're gonna drown? You know. So I think it.
I think it was like we talked about Samson. We talked about all that.
Yeah. So
Samson's
I think
parents.
your question, you know, is in the same realm in terms of Martha here. You know, I think it's for Martha here. It's a how, not a what.
For Martha, it's a how.
Yeah. So
Not
Martha
what.
believed what. She was just not expecting the how. Like, I know you can raise people from the dead, all that's gonna happen, all of that. You know, I'm
What
worried
was
about that.
the what that she believed in?
He's the Messiah, his identity.
So I would calculate that she believes in the who.
Yes, it was a who, but I was gonna call it a what because that's what he wants people to believe. He wants people to believe that Jesus, that he came from the Father. So his identity is
Oh, the what? Okay.
the
Okay.
what is that I came from the Father, my
Yep.
identity.
I got you.
Right.
I got you. I got you.
But it appears from her language that she appears to be there. I think she's now wrestling what does all this mean? Because Jesus talking in code, right? Like he not being, don't you believe you'll see the Father's? Yeah, but the man dead. Like the logistics of this are, you know, why you gonna open the thing? Like you know what will happen? It's that kind of.
Got you.
It's. I can't perceive it because that's not even in my realm of thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not disbelief in him or his identity. It's just like the disciples. Yes, I saw you raise the dead or all that, but like talking to the waves and telling them to shut up, like, oh, that too.
Mm.
But to
Yeah.
your question, but I think the heart of the question you're asking is, what does he ask us to believe? I think if we lock in on, you know, because we were saying faith is belief that trusts and trust that acts, right?
Belief is.
No, faith is belief that
Oh,
trusts,
faith is. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
believe that
I'm with
trusts,
you.
and trust that acts. At least that's what we landed on the last time. So if I believe that this is who he is, then my actions are being informed by that understanding and my trust of that thing. So my speech, my language, my choices, all of that is reflecting this. And the perfect example is Mary. Mary didn't say, "Yo, this can't happen." She was more like, "Well, how does that work?" Right? Like,
Correct.
because
Correct.
I don't understand how cars work. So how did you get it to work? Right? Like, we can ride in a spaceship. Okay. Is it run on gas? Like, I've never seen a spaceship before. What does that mean? Not that we're not
As
going to
opposed
ride.
as opposed that the spaceship will never work.
Yes. Oh, spaceship.
Spaceship. Yeah. You can only do it through a car.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got you.
At least that's what I perceive. But while he was talking to Martha and did have that exchange with him, a lot of all the things that he's doing and saying is also being informed by everyone else as well. So yes, you're right to narrow in on what he says to Martha specifically, but the context of the whole thing is all the stuff that's happening, including Martha.
Correct.
And the people
It was just interesting the way, because he responded directly to her, right? And that's what kind of jumped out, because the first thing that he did before he even went was like, this was going to be for God's glory, right?
But she didn't hear that message.
But she didn't hear that message. That was just him talking to the disciples, right? And it was without any context outside of that, right? And then you start seeing the interaction, and that's when I was like, wow, like, is there a requirement for us? When I say us, me, when I'm praying and asking for something, for me to actually pray for that particular process and outcome?
You can, and you should. And a good example of that is David. Right? David prayed that the child wouldn't die. And God said, "Nah, the child has to die."
Kid had to die.
Had to. But
get them kids.
but David still asked specifically for that, and he stayed in prayer until God said, it's done. Don't ask me anymore.
Yeah.
You see that also with Moses, right? I know you call me from up in the mountain to come and lead these unruly people, right? We reach so close. Really, can we revisit that decision that I'm not going to make it over there? I'm not going to set foot over there. And God was like, yes, I firmly decided I can't let you do that. Don't ask me again.
Be gone.
I have something else, I will do for you, but this I cannot do this, And so you see that there's, going back to what we talked about earlier, there's that relational intimacy that allows you to come. Like, I would even go now to make it personal. You want your children to come and ask you. But just because they ask don't mean you'll give it to them, because you have other considerations that you may say, no, I can't do this, or I can't do this today.
Correct.
Or if I do this, this will be detrimental to you, so I won't do this, right? Like, I can't let you have this candy for 3 days straight. I can't. I know this is important, but it's not because I don't love you. It's just because I love you, I can't give you.
Or because I love you. Yeah.
Because I love you, I can't give you this candy.
Correct.
But I want us to have a relationship where you can ask me.
Correct.
But because you believe that as your father, I love you and I have the best for you, you're not going to take it personal when I say, nah, sorry. You're going to trust me. And that's where the trust that acts. Your response to me when I tell you no is not to throw a hissy fit. Because we say no, you must have a good reason. I bet.
Yeah.
Or David. Oh, he said no, he's not going to change his mind. All right, well, let's eat. That is trust that acts. That's what that looks like.
No, facts.
Yeah, he didn't keep on praying. He's like, oh, the child finally dead. All right, I'll let you sure. All right, well, I guess I should go and bed now, because the man make his decision, and that's that. So
nothing else to do. No other convo to have.
And Moses didn't come back and start begging again. He didn't start, trying to see if he could find something to help him live longer. Just he didn't fight it. Just that axe.
Correct.
But I think you hit on something important. It's like, what does he want us to believe? A lot of us want to believe that he will give us the outcomes we pray for.
And that was like the kind of the refreshing thing that she didn't. It wasn't about the outcome. She wasn't even worried about her brother coming back. She had already resolved it with herself. It was like she had the conversation. She was like, "I wish you should have come," but then that was it,
Yeah.
right? I know you are you. We are. I believe you're him. You're that guy. I don't doubt that. So, and I'll never doubt that. And that's kind of what I got from her.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, so my note was like, am I only looking for and believing in him for outcomes? Do I only believe?
Is that bad though? To
Um,
believe, to have an ask and to present it.
to have an ask and present it is fine. I think the purity in Martha is that she didn't know to ask specifically.
And she didn't get hysterical like Mary. Like,
And it was
she
only
wasn't stuck.
literally it just came down to him. I know you're that guy. And so there's so many things that I pray for and that I'm having conversations with God with that I'm like, man, like me and Jewel were talking about the other day. It was like, I don't even know how how he would answer this. But the reality is, like, he can,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there's a really good chance that he's going to answer this in a way that I never even thought of. And so I can't be praying about necessarily him doing it in a way, right? I can't pray for Lazarus to be raised from the dead, right? I
pray for him to show his glory.
Correct. Right? It's just, I don't, and I guess that's where I was kind of landing with it. And I was just like, there was, I've already said it. Like there was a purity in Martha's ignorance.
Think
and
about
maybe
it.
It wasn't even ignorance. It was just, well, it was ignorance because she didn't know. But in just having just truly believing in him, like, Lord, no, I know who you are. You're him. I'm not even asking you to do all of that.
That's beyond my pay grade. I don't need to know how the sausage is made.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's probably a better way to put it.
Like it's like Jesus' mother on his first miracle. The outer wine. Whatever he tell you to do, just do that.
Just do it and walk away.
She didn't mix up. She's like, he's out of wine. He knows the problem.
Yep.
Now, do whatever he tells you to, however he decides to solve it.
It's not my time.
Yeah, he's like, it's not my time. He's like, all right, well, you know what? All right.
All right, whatever. Just do what he says.
All right, look around. Oh, that water, fill up them jars and come. She walked away. She didn't
walked
even
away.
She didn't even get involved in, it have jars over there, Jesus. And she didn't offer no suggestions. Yep. She just presented the need.
Yep.
And deferred.
And I think there's like I said, there's a purity in that. Just like not even getting in the way. And it's hard because I want my outcomes. I wanted my friend to live. Um,
Mhm.
she was too young. I wanted her to live. And so if I get caught up in outcomes, I could be disappointed.
Sure.
And but that disappointment, although it's natural and understandable, it can cloud me from like what it is that Christ and God is trying to accomplish. Um, whether I see it or not.
Right. That's where the belief comes in, right? Because, as Jesus said, which of you parents, if your child asks you for bread,
Mm-hmm.
will give him a stone, or he asks you for fish, will
Mm-hmm.
give him a snake.
Mm-hmm.
If you believe that I am your loving father, and you ask me for this thing, and I tell you, I can't do that, partner, sorry. You go, if you believe I'm a loving father, I'm like, okay, you must have your reasons. I feel you. Maybe you'll tell me later, or maybe you don't tell me, but I trust you anyway. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's that's that trust that acts that he's trying to get us to. It's the our God is able to save us from the fire, but even if he doesn't, we're not going to bow. It's that
Mm-hmm.
it's you know do whatever he say. And he might have put his foot down and say, I'm not doing anything.
Mm.
Right? Like David. Yeah, partner, no, we can't do that. I have something else for you. Because David did at the time, David didn't have Solomon in his mind, right?
Correct.
But he got up, like, okay, he answered, he gave a final word, and it's not what I wanted.
Yep.
You know, um,
Mm.
so it's about what do you really believe? Because if you believe he's a loving father, does your response reflect that?
I'm over here doing some reading about it and come across this phrase in intellectual assent. This is a mental agreement with a fact or an idea, acknowledging its truth without necessarily changing one's behavior or feelings. It is a one dimensional belief that stops at the level of knowledge alone.
Mhm.
Whereas deeper belief or faith often requires additional components like trust, emotional commitment, and a change in one's actions or life. So we were just talking about it, and it's like, yeah, you can have that, acknowledge that truth. That is my father, right? And he will. But then there's a difference in a deeper belief that's going to change the way you behave. I know my father will do this. So you're everything about you, the way you feel about it. This is going to be a personal conviction. It's going to have a strong, like, uh, I want to say, like, transformation in you, like the way you go about
Mhm.
the actions, because it's just a deeper, like, commitment that you feel about that.
Mhm.
um
Good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
um it's like,
Yeah, like Mary is a good contrast to Martha. Mary just says, Lord, I wish you had been here. Then my brother would not have died. And she just kept weeping hysterically. Well, not
Yeah.
hysterically, but she started weeping. And then the people around were weeping hysterically. And Jesus got troubled.
right, and essentially they're saying the same first things the same way, like,
The
or I mean,
first
I don't
thing.
know their tones, but yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
But Martha adds this other piece
Hmm.
that Mary doesn't add.
Yeah. Right. She just says that piece, then she just break down, like, and you know what that is. Like,
Yeah, I just, you know, I I've seen I've seen God operate in my life. Um, and this was, reading this was, I don't know if it was jolting or jarring, but it was meaningful
Mm,
in that it just don't know. Sometimes you just don't know what to ask for.
yes.
But I've never known him. He just said to ask. Um, and so it was like really getting down to nitty gritty of what that ask should be.
Okay. Maybe we need to
And
move
then
into your will be done.
your will be done, right? And just believing in who he is, because it's impossible for you to to ask for the gazillion ways he can he can,
Mhm.
whether he will or not is a whole different conversation, but way he can take care of a situation. And so it was just like it just centered me back to be like, yo, just focus on him. Make your ask, but make your ask just knowing who he is,
Yes.
and giving it 100% to him.
Hmm.
And because there's no, you don't, you know, it's above your pay grade. You don't you don't know.
He's a loving father who, wants the best for you, wants to make you happy, wants to give you the things that you need or desire, but also have other considerations, including your well-being, that might be harmed by letting you go to sleep with that candy. Please, Lord,
Correct.
can I go to bed with this lollipop? Can I please? Like, nah, can't do that. Not good for you. It's not good for Jewel. It's not good for nobody if you have that lollipop tonight.
Yep. Go to that candy shop. Ain't good.
With that,
Ain't good. Ain't good for nobody.
go around the room for the takeaways.
wow.
Courtney.
Oh man, I love that I think you just talked about with Martha and Mary and just um I don't know, just belief, the structuring our belief a little bit differently, um, faith and but for real, what struck out to me a lot was what we talked about earlier and John and just I just thought it was just interesting, Sharika and Kenrick just bringing up some points of things that I noticed in relationships, that I thought it was just me. I was like, dang, like I'm really more of a friend, more I'm friends to some people. They ain't really my friend. But I mean, ultimately, it was just like, man, just that confirmation, or just and affirming that we're supposed to have that loyal love towards folks, like, and not looking for reciprocity, man. It's just like, no, just if anything, I'm just like, man, this because of what Jesus did for me, or not just me, but what He's done for all of us. I I I should have that kind of same love for others because He commanded me to. You
Right.
understand?
Yep. However, Courtney, he commanded you to love your neighbors like that.
Yeah.
When neighbors are not your friends,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So
That's true.
So the definition here we talked about neighbor. Well, we didn't talk about the definition of neighbor, but neighbor is someone who's near, and there's a obligation to the neighbor that's not to the friend. The friend is someone I choose to do these things to share intimacy with.
Yeah.
A neighbor is someone I have obligation to perform some kind of duty or it's a, how do they describe it? It's chosen mercy or something like that.
Hey, it's like the Good Samaritan.
Right.
It's like, yo, it's a Good
Yeah.
Samaritan all over. It's like, yeah. Say, you know what? I'm gonna help out. I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna show you love. I'm gonna take care of you or be concerned about you as I'm concerned about myself. Like,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah. So a friend is someone you love with closeness and loyalty, and neighbor is anyone you encounter with compassion and moral responsibility.
man, it's like,
And neighbor is what?
Anyone you encounter with compassion and moral responsibility. A friend is equal to a beloved partner in loyal relationship. A neighbor is any person whose need summons your compassion.
Mm.
damn, yeah.
So with a
Sometimes,
friend, I'm not doing because you need, I'm doing because I want to be in intimacy with you. My actions are
Correct.
driven by choosing to be intimate, to have intimacy with you. So a friendship that necessarily is rooted in need is not, by this definition, a friend, not really a friend per se.
mhm.
Because need doesn't drive, needs and my availability to meet your needs is not what drives the motivation for the engagement. The friendship is not rooted in a provision of needs. While I guess you can provide for the needs of your friend, it's not the basis for the relationship. It's chosen intimacy. And that's
Gotcha.
going to be my takeaway. It's someone I choose to love with closeness and loyalty. It's chosen intimacy that does not necessitate reciprocity. Yeah. If you get it, good, but it doesn't necessitate that. Kenneth, you get the last one because I don't think the bishop is going to be back.
Yeah, what I walked up in was when I say walked up, I mean logged in. That struck me as just not. I've always felt kind of the way, what I described. Living it, it's kind of based upon the example that Christ gave, has always been very difficult, especially these days. It just seems like it's just a lot. It's a lot harder these days. As I've said, in the past, I never look at myself as having enemies. I don't think I have enemies. Enemies. I don't have any of those.
On the borderline.
But even with that, I do think that this, and I'll say it, this political environment creates these ideas, right? And I was listening to this guy. My Instagram is crazy, so we're not going to get into that. But one of the things, I get everything. But one of the things that I get, and it's not me, it's my friends.
They send you stuff and He's
It's
a
who I'm
big-
trying to relations with.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
relations with people,
Yeah.
and their algorithms
They
are
corrupted it. They corrupted
corrupting me
it.
100%. Lord, please forgive them. The, but one of the things that he mentioned that really stuck out to me, it was this video, and he was talking about, I'm sure, maybe you guys have seen it. It's most whales apparently drown, right? And that's how whales die. And whales, of course, are mammals that live in the water. And so they're not in their, they live in an environment that they actually don't belong in. And so in order for a whale to live, it has to come up out of its environment to get air.
Oh, wow.
And then go back down. And so as I was thinking about that, and even in this conversation, it was like so many times I get stuck living in this environment, right? And this environment creates a space where you have to do, like, you do these things.
Preacher.
And this environment is not based upon what I've read, right? And what, I believe the Bible says, this environment is not mine, right?
But you adapted for it like the whale.
But you adapt to it like the whale.
No,
You live a long time.
You're adapted for it like the whale was.
You're adapted for it, but you live a long time in it, as
Yeah.
long as you, right? But in order for you to continue to live in it, like you have to go up and come out of that environment to get the thing that you actually need.
To stay in the environment.
And so, as we were talking about it, I kind of started thinking about that, and how much this environment just makes you a part of it, like, and it just drags you into it.
You're not a fish.
And you forget you're not. You think you're a fish, and Bama, you're not a fish. You're not a fish. And so, in this conversation, it just kind of reminded me. It reminded me of that, and it was like, man, like you have to remember you're not a fish.
Oh, I'm not a fish. That's a t-shirt.
We gotta get these t-shirts out, man. We gotta get these t-shirts out.
Well, I have it digital. Yeah, so I'm gonna do it digital so I can put them all together.
That was my takeaway.
I'm not a fish. All right. I'm gonna put whale in brackets so you'll remember. You're like, I'm not a fish. What is that? All right. Didn't see any come through the chat, so you could just go ahead and pray. Courtney, you pray for us this evening.
All right, definitely. My check. Come on. All right, let's go. Lord, we just want to thank you this evening for the richness of your word and the wisdom you've shared. The commentary, just the thoughts that we've shared together as we leave from the company. We just ask that you help that we carry your teachings into our daily lives and that we grow in faith. Amen.
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 All right, we are on again every first and third Friday. So it's the first Friday in December, which is December 5. And then the next time is before the end of the year. That's what, December 19, just before the holiday. And then we're back again first Friday of the new year, which is the 2nd. So we don't have any long breaks like we did coming out of the last few weeks, but we're here. All right, if you don't already have a copy of the reading plan, you can download it, download the app and read it on your phone. It's in the Apple Store. I don't think it's back in the Google Play Store yet, but we're still working to try and restore that. All right. So looking forward to the next set of conversations, and until the next time, drink up.
Drink up.
Oh, there we go. We out.